Hey, how's it going? It's my Battle of Fresia. Oops. Just showing you the setup. I did a long thread as kind of a build-up to the battle. Give you a little bit of idea how it came about. It's part of my role-playing game, Ash World's Sparks of Rebellion. This is the rebels are attempting to abscond with X-wing prototypes. The story behind the X-wing is that it was initially going to be an Imperial ship, and Incom, the manufacturer of the X-wing, defected to the rebellion. Um, there's a couple of stories about this. There's one in a comic book, I believe. There's one during the campaign portion of a video game called Empire at War. And this is my version of the same story molded into my campaign. In this version, Incom defected after being shown imperial atrocities committed against various races across the galaxy. The rebels posed as businessmen doing deals with Incom and giving a presentation on the business. Instead, they showed video of genocidal acts and stuff like that. So Incom decided that they were on the wrong side, clearly, and they took all their material and tried to escape to the outer rim from their inner core facilities, this being one of them here on Fresia. So there's a thread. It's not too long. I mean, if you're one of those TLDR types, then it probably is too long. But I tried to keep it brief. I think there's 4 or 5 posts that just give a build up to the battle, what was going on, how the forces are, why the forces are arranged the way they are. So this is the beginning from the end of that little prologue. What you see here is trench works. The trench works were created by the Empire prior to any of the conflict. They were there because this is a manufacturing and test facility, and they wanted to have it defended with military works in case of open warfare. So the trick was the trick played by the rebels to get here was that they well, again, that's in the thread, but basically they got onto the planet via some feints and maneuvers and were able to occupy these trench works and use them against the Empire. So the Empire is coming from this edge to seize the airfield, which is this right here with the 4 prototypes. So the object for each side is that the Imperials again are supposed to get to that airfield and secure the prototypes. The rebels are supposed to try to stop that from occurring long enough for those prototypes to become operational, piloted, and leave the surface where they have some assets waiting above Fresia to take the X-wings and fly off with them to their secret base. So, how long is that going to take? It's a die roll thing. It's a die roll and time thing. So, there's no set in stone end to the scenario. It leaves everything up in the air. And as far as up in the air, there's also a battle in space that will be occurring at the same time, and I'll depict that as well. So the thread that I reference back to also describes what's going on there to some degree. So where it started at the end of the thread was that there was contact between this element here, this forward observation squad and these bikers. So that's pretty much where we're going to pick it up. I'm going to see if I can get anybody interested in watching this live, or even better, participating in the battle from this point. Nobody's died. You're not starting in any position of weakness. The initial little scrap is just kind of part of the storyline, not part of the game. So uh, it's pretty well balanced. Uh, the Imperials might have more forces and maybe a little more firepower, but not that much more. And the numbers are compensated for by the fact that the rebels have a good defensive position. So it's pretty even up. I could easily run it as the GM, which would be enjoyable, and have several people, or two people, whatever, however many we can get, to command some of the forces here that are arrayed. Star Wars Miniatures Battle from 1991 is the system being used. I'm very familiar with it. It will run along nice and smooth. It's fairly easy to grasp the basics of it, and there's no huge learning curve or anything like that. It's pretty basic miniatures game stuff from the era. So let me know if you're interested in playing, or at the very least interested in watching. If not I understand not the entire game. You might not have time for that. But if you want to watch an episode of it where I, chop it up into maybe 10-minute episodes or something like that, let me know. We'll see how it goes.